The pushy young cub had given Gordon a hard time, challenging his clan's territory, until matters had almost come to a head. Lee had changed the balance of that angry confrontation by the simple expedient of loudly clicking the safety off her pistol from slightly behind the fellow in the quiet woods. Durf have excellent hearing. The "oh shit" look on the kid's face was a precious memory Gordon held close. Gordon was Durf too, after all. In fact, he had 50 years' experience and a couple 100 kilograms on the kid. It never seemed to have occurred to Lee he might not need her help. He hadn't. He was holding a handgun hidden from the insolent cub. In fact, he'd loved a reminder that although the entire Red Tree/human war was precipitated by her treatment on Earth, almost all of it was fought without her direct help, thank you very much. His own clan hadn't accepted his adoption of Lee without some controversy. But they did do the right thing in the end, even if it required a change of first mother. At least it hadn't required removal by assassination to make new law that respected Lee's adoption, though it was a close thing. The United States of North America had then very stupidly broken their treaty over disapproving of his adoption of Lee. One cranky old prejudiced judge had taken her into protective custody when they were visiting Earth. The nation of Red Tree did not take kindly to having their children kidnapped. The three mothers took Red Tree to war without hesitation, though it had been over 1,000 years since they'd made war on anyone. The clan would have declared war on every nation and world of all three races for one of their own. It was a matter of principle. Gordon looked down at his daughter with a smile. The snarling grin he got back was no less threatening for being on a 50-kilogram or so human girl of 14 years, who needed a few more years' growth to push 2 meters, versus his own 700 kilos and 4-meter length. We really don't want to jump right in with an adversarial conversation, Gordon pleaded. Let's stay calm, ask some questions, and find out what the real problem is. Does this mean I shouldn't remind him that removal of obstructive officials by assassination is a perfectly normal procedure in Durf politics? It might be well not to mention it first. And if you didn't jam your thumb under your holster flap while saying it as you did just now, it would add an air of genteel sincerity. Why are we seeing someone from the Ministry of War? Lee demanded. This is just a commercial transaction, and we're not asking credit. I saw the ridiculously huge ingots of silver in the hold. That's the basis of their currency and an absolute necessity for them to import since it's scarce in the Fargon system. So it's not like our kind of money isn't favored here. Gordon broke into song. And I don't care if the money's no good, just take what you need and leave the rest. But they should never have taken the very best. What's that? A song about an old war in North America. Money offered in wartime is often worthless. How can money be entirely worthless? Lee asked, scrunching up her nose. When it's paper certificates and they won't or can't redeem it in metal, Gordon explained. Oh, you'd be a fool to take them then. That's a bad contract and fraud, not bad money. Yes, but in the song he told the soldiers to take what they wanted. Probably his food, because otherwise they'd likely just shoot him dead and steal it anyway. Why didn't you buy smaller bars that would be easier to handle? Lee wondered. You could count our smaller bars to pay the exact price of whatever deal we work out. I never imagined they made ingots so big they came with a big eye for the crane to hook into cast right on top. That's the cheapest way to buy silver. Those are 10,000 troy-ounce ingots. Besides, I didn't want easy to handle. How would you go about stealing one of those? Lee tipped her head to acknowledge the truth of that. They'd hardly fit in your pocket. A new suspicion occurred to her. Do you think they'll try to run up the price because they know we're rich? No, if that was it, we'd still be meeting with the munitions manufacturer, or him and a finance minister. No, I'm afraid whatever the problem is, it is political in nature, he said distastefully. You think they may regret selling you the 3 radiation-enhanced weapons back in the war? I doubt it. They haven't made any noises about buying back the 2 we haven't used. I'm stumped what they want then, she said, frustrated. I'm just going to sit back, listen for a while, and try to hear how he sounds as much as what he says. You are getting smarter about dealing with other humans, he allowed, relieved somewhat.